Yeah, so welcome to Tower Song's, I guess, second kind of developer live stream. If you include the couple rounds that we did, or third live stream if you include the 2 rounds we did during C Next Fest. So yeah, today we're picking up in the desert chapter. We're going to showcase both of the playable characters, starting off with Tally and Gigi, for whom Ishin just found a collar.
Yeah, so that actually... Let's put the collar on. So this clearly makes GG more of a DPS threat. Less magic, but yeah, more health and damage. I'm into it. If that's
Yeah, so
the
the
case...
equipment is typically, most equipment can be equipped on oh, you also found Pluriff's bow.
Yes,
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna put the bow
So
on
GG can only
GG.
wear things a cat can wear, so you can wear the collar. There's also a bow that you can find in the forest
Yeah.
chapter. But yeah, a lot of the equipment is meant to be kind of game-changing stuff, not just stat upgrades. So I think maybe one of the first things we can talk about is kind of the crafting and the equipment
Sure.
for Tower Song. So there is a crafting system, but it's what we've called like one ingredient crafting. Technically there's 2 ingredients that goes into crafting new items, but one is just the general kind of currency, gold, and then the other one is like special items that you can find. These items are not rare drops. You can find them through exploration or defeating bosses or mini bosses. If you fight the right monster and defeat it, you will get the crafting item. That is just how it works. Yeah, we're gonna go to the crafting menu here. So you can see everything there costs, a bit of our currency, which is tower dust, and then one of these other ones. So the weapons have branching paths. So within a branch, the upgrades are straight up. So if you have an assault rifle and you make a forged assault rifle, it'll do the same thing, but it'll have like a better, more damage. But every character can choose from basically 2 weapon paths. So like Solace, for example, are kind of our main sniper character here. She can either do the sniper rifle, which hits a little harder but has less capacity, so she'll have to reload more often. Or you can do the assault rifle path, which does a little less damage, but has 8 bullets instead of 3, or cartridges. You don't have to reload nearly as often, but it's a little less accurate. So if you're going to be in like maybe longer paced battles, you might want to pull out an assault rifle. And what I'm trying to get at with talking about these items and also talking about like the GG's collar is that what we wanted with the equipment is for it to be like side grades. So whether you use an assault rifle or a sniper rifle is dependent on your build strategy or your gameplay preference. It's not one is just better than the other. So like the GG collar that he picked up doesn't necessarily make GG better. It just gives GG a kind of a different playstyle. GG by default is more of a caster. He's got a big mana pool, but with the collar that Ishin just found, he gets a much larger health pool and a much smaller mana pool, and is more of like a fighter for your party instead of like a support caster. So it like completely changes, how GG is in the party.
I've decided to kind of go, now that I've picked that up for GG, I'm going to see if I can turn GG into kind of a more fun main DPS type. So I've changed a little bit of my mods as well. I'm going to now try to empower GG a little bit with Umbral Claw, and Umbral Claw likes when the target's cursed, so I figured I'd take a couple more curse options for Solace. We'll see how it goes. It could totally not work. We'll see. But I like to just experiment with fun things just to see if it'll work or not.
Yeah, and then Ishin giving us a little preview of the skill mod system there too. And skill mods, just like the equipment, they're all like game changers. Every tier of you unlock 5 skill mod tiers throughout the game, and then at each tier you're choosing one of 2 things, and they're all kind of game changing. And it's all about building the way you want to build. So yeah, he decided he wants like a battle cat, so he's picked the right mods for GG and given him the right equipment. But you could totally play GG as a caster. That's one of my favorite things to do also. Pick different mods, and yeah, he's just a totally different thing.
Yeah, so we've got these bandits fighting us now. In terms of the overall plot right now, we're headed back to a city called Kadam, and there's something going afoot in Kadam, and so we're trying to make sure everything's on the up and up. And along the way, there seems to be things don't seem to be on the up and up, because now there are these bandits that are trying to take our lives just because we're on our way back to Kadam. So we'll just take care of them. Yeah, we'll do.
And while we're kind of speaking of GG2, I think maybe our number 2 on our list of like things that are different is, you know, the concept for GG came from like a summon. So we have Tally, who's the witch, and the idea was, okay, she can summon her familiar, which is GG the cat. But rather than like just basically make him a spell with a different like animation, we decided to just make him an actual character. So he's actually like, he started as like an actual summon, and you can actually control him, do different abilities. So I think I always liked the idea of like a summoner in these JRPGs, but you know, oftentimes a summoner was just using, you weren't actually summoning like a backup. You were just basically casting a big spell with a really cool cast animation, you know, showing that summon come out, but didn't necessarily change the gameplay. Obviously, some games have played with that. I think Final Fantasy X did something like that, where I think the summon actually shows up and you fight with. I think you fight as the summon.
Yeah, you basically fight as the summon instead of Yuna.
Yeah. And I thought that was cool, you know, rather than like Final Fantasy 7 or 8, which is where I first ran into the summon stuff. So, yeah, our summon is a playable character and is a cat. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one of those.
Yeah. My strategy, I think, is paying off. We'll see. That was a relatively straightforward fight with just the 3. Since it is the first fight of the chapter, we'll see. But the idea right now is either hit him with the cursed weapon or curse resistance. And then with the curse resistance, both like Kieran and Tally's spells are magnified. So I've sacrificed crowd control in the name of more damage, because you know, defeating something really is the strongest form of crowd control. So we'll head over to the sounds of this ambush.
Okay, we got a second team here.
Yep. And these Naga we have not seen in the game yet, so it's a little, who are these creatures? And we have these 3 new people showing up.
Yeah, so this is a kind of a little aside where you get to temporarily control an allied party. They also have fully realized skills. But yeah, just kind of a fun surprise. So we'll say this now. If we, I don't think we've said it yet, but if you're watching this and if you're already sold at any point, or you want to be surprised by mechanics or things that happen, you know, don't watch. We're about midway through the game here, so there will be a few plot spoilers and also some mechanic spoilers. And this is probably a big one, that you get to control this other party.
Yeah, they're pretty fun to use. I'm trying to show off as many things as I can. We'll let get stunned. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. We'll see. All right. Oh, okay, so he's still preparing a riposte, so he's not riposting yet. So we'll try to. Oh, right, but his defense is still high, so now he's riposting. Yeah, so
enemies that you fight, or enemy combatants in Tower Song, preview. And in several different ways preview their attacks. At the start of every turn, you may have noticed icons above their heads, shields, swords. These are declaring that enemy's intent. Are they going to attack somebody? Are they going to use a defensive spell? You'll also see later restorative spells. They preview all of those at the beginning of the turn. Also, sometimes enemies will use 2-step abilities, as we're seeing here. They'll do a preparation ability, and then the next turn they'll have a more powerful ability. So if you have a crowd control option, sometimes you save it for those, or you know that you need to be prepared with a heal or some other sort of recovery. Letting players forecast what enemies are going to do lets players be a little more proactive in their strategy, especially on the harder difficulty modes, which we haven't mentioned yet, but there are multiple difficulty modes. Knowing what the enemy is going to do and being able to prepare your turn or even 2 turns ahead of time based on what the enemy is going to be doing is critical to success.
Yeah, and there's lots of outplay options. So there was one enemy that went into that sort of riposting state, and that would have that Naga would have been in there for 2 turns, and so to avoid that, you can knock enemies out of stances by using certain element type attacks, like blunt attacks will do that. So with Akeno, I kind of planned for it ahead of time to put him in stun mode, or blunt mode / stun mode really, so that I can knock the one enemy out of their riposting stance and be able to hit them harder with Hudson afterwards.
And those status effects are like bread and butter for Tower Song, and because of that, we also made the decision to break convention in another way by allowing you to apply status effects to the bosses. You know, most or many of the bosses are immune to some of the status effects, but rarely is a boss immune to every kind of status effect. Some of them are immune to stuns, but not like wound effects, damage over time effects. Others of them are immune to those, but not to stuns. It really felt like those abilities are really powerful and fun to use and key to the strategy. And in some cases, the fact that you can stun the boss or the boss's allies is critical to the boss. I think
takes
one of my
GGs.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, or one of my the most annoying parts about when I was a kid playing these games, is you'd have these like really cool status effects, but then you get to the boss and they're immune to everything, and it just doesn't matter, and you just got to grind out your attack skills. Speaking of attack skills, if you've been paying attention to the combat here, you'll see there is no attack skill, there is no guard skill. So although we're pulling kind of the retro JRPG aesthetic, we don't have attack, we don't have guard. We wanted every character class to feel unique and for turns to feel unique. And just removing those 2 abilities, meaning every turn you're having to make some kind of strategic call. It's never in your benefit to just do the same kind of DPS rotation. And in most cases, you're going to run out of ammo, you're going to run out of MP because you don't have just regular attack. But we didn't want those situations where you get the you have the white mage, the healer, and they're just hitting people with the staff because they're trying to save your MP for something. Like they don't even have the ability to do so. You've got to cast the spell, so you just got to manage that over the course of the battle.
Oh, that's the one downside to Kieran's soul stuff. So some of the you'll see in the damage forecast on the right of these the skills itself that some attacks just have wider variance than others. So Tally has a lot of death damage stuff, which is relatively high variance. So I can either hit for 60 or this or 180, but this one does have curse resistance. Hopefully it will knock it out, but if I roll low, it might not. Oh, 160 is very high. We're good. We're good.
Very good.
I love random and just things like that, so I have definitely played around with kind of putting all my eggs into the high variance basket, and it leads to some very fun moments and then also some very unlucky sad moments, which is pretty fun.
But like with all the other mechanics we've been talking about today, that's something you can sort of disengage with or engage with. If you decide you don't like the random mechanics, you can definitely build a party that doesn't rely on that. You can go for more consistent damage. There's only some types of spells that rely on that. And like with Kieran, for example, you can definitely build him out to be more consistent but lower range damage, where you can go for the high variance, high magic build.
Yeah, and that's one of those things you can do with your equipment or accessories. It really just goes with your playstyle, and not also just with your playstyle, but also with the enemies that you encounter. So you can, with no penalty, switch out your equipment and skill mods at any time. And so some fights might be better for a physical build, if there's or something like an enemy or a set of enemies that might evade a lot of physical abilities. Well, then you might want to go towards that more high variance but still more magical a bit like magical build, so that you're not playing directly into the enemy strengths and things like that. But it's a lot of especially on like the harder difficulties, a lot of the puzzle kind of comes from, and the combat puzzle, I guess, comes from making sure that you're using the equipment and the skills to your most advantageous in the most advantageous way against the encounter.
Yep. So we got a little cutscene happening here. So the new party that you run into, you've got Hudson, who's a gunslinger, and actually kind of a similar skill set to Solace. They both used to work together. They both come from the same discipline, as it were. You've also got Fred, who is actually an undead lich, but breaking kind of stereotype. She did become a lich to do evil villainous schemes. Now she's at some point in her long undead life, she decided to try for good instead. So now she's on the side of good, which our cosmic witch Tally thinks is pretty cool, but she definitely can be off-putting to some of the other characters you could play as.
Yeah, and it looks like now there's truly some bad news coming from the fire tower over in Kadam. So now we really need to rush our way over there and figure out what's going on and stop it if we can. Oh, it looks like we are getting a new member. So one of the Legionnaires, Akeno, seems to be joining our squad. Yep, I won't argue either. More firepower, I'm totally fine with that.
Akeno's a pretty fun class too. We'll get into him in some of these upcoming fights, like exactly how he works.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like we got Echo Sync, a party level up. So I think another convention we could talk about breaking here. If you were watching the victory screens, you may have noticed there's no XP gain when you defeat enemies. That's because there is no XP gain in Tower Song. To level up, you just progress the story, complete quests. It's milestone based, and this way you know that the content you don't over level for the content. Now some people love the grind, totally there for that. But for Tower Song, we wanted to go a different direction, so that the combat encounters could be a little more intentional and a little more crafted, and you don't have to worry about being under or over leveled. You don't have to grind. You'll never need to do that. So yeah, so as you play through the game, you will get to the appropriate level. Now you can, if you miss something or get to a hard fight, an optional fight, you can go back as you level up and acquire more party members, better equipment. So there is still the ability to go back and trounce battles that you had a hard time with, but on the critical path, fighting the bosses, then the story bosses, that stuff is all kind of balanced to be, you're always at the level we expect you to be.
So right now I'm in the camp, just right outside Vistum. Through these camp sequences, you can talk to your party members. You can learn more about their backstory. So right now I'm talking to Solace about her time with the Mist Legion. And so you can get little nuggets of the history behind characters, like why is everyone so angry at Kieran? And you'll learn about kind of their personalities and their histories. And you can also, through these, kind of see how your main character, whoever you choose, Tally or Neat, how they grow as characters as well through interacting with your party members.
Yeah, and while we're in early access, there's two other characters which you can actually kind of get a preview of in the prologue chapter of the game. And the next one that we're working on is the Fury Warrior Porphyry. And similarly, she'll have her own kind of path through the story, and we're working on that right now.
And you can kind of see through the dialogue why some people just don't like Kieran, even without knowing his backstory, because he's very straight to the point, I suppose.
Kieran is a mood.
Yes, he is. It seems
I like to think there's a nugget of goodness in there in him. He comes off rude, but he's not.
Yeah, he's still a good guy. Yeah. And it seems like, down at the docks in Vistum, the Naga have unleashed something monstrous. A giant on fours, breathing flame, big as a house. Controlled by these spellcasters. A siege beast.
Yeah, so siege beasts are part of the lore. There are, as Kieran is saying, enormous creatures that come from a tower, usually controlled by spellcasters. Something that Kieran has encountered before. Probably Kieran and Solace in particular. So you're working with a group of adventurers called the Mannonites. They kind of maybe your standard Dungeons and Dragons party, adventuring party. They've been together since a big event called the Breach, which we won't really go into here, but there was so a lot of these monsters that you've been fighting, these are monster fighters, monster hunters, tower runners. Couldn't quite sneak past those guys.
Looks like we'll have to go the violence route. Make sure this one doesn't hit us too hard. I do love that Umbral Claw works on any curse, so we get more additional synergy between Solace and Gigi. And I don't like these bowcasters doing a lot of things, so I'm just gonna charm one of them. And this one also will do curse resistance, so we'll make sure this one's also cursed. So I think the theme of this playthrough for me with Tally and Gigi is just gonna go into curses, see what I can do. I just
Charm's getting a bit of a buff in their upcoming patch too. Right now, in the live game, charms can be kind of dispelled if that character takes damage. We're gonna buff that in the next patch so that actually does not happen. So I think those control abilities a little more, gives them a little more range, a little more value.
Right now, everyone should be cursed of some kind. Yes, very good. This can take out, yeah, this one takes that out. And now that everyone, I think the rest of them, if I examine everybody, should have cursed. Oh, this one has cursed armor. That's okay. These two have cursed resistance. Means if I do the soul damage, 45 MPO, that actually take me off of edification. So we'll do a regular attack. Nice, 83 on the soul damage part, feels good. Should do extra damage as well because he's already cursed. Got him.
See ya.
Alright, now Akeno, since I used Cutting Wind earlier, one of Akeno's fun things is he takes on the element of whatever magic he uses. And so because I used Cutting Wind last turn, he is now Air Spirited, and because Air Spirit's active already on him, I can deal double damage. So I will do so onto this. Now, in theory, for maximum damage, I should have given this one cursed armor beforehand, but we'll do that the next opportunity we can. He's still cursed. He is.
Yeah, there's quite a few different ways for you to interplay between your party members, set each other up for bigger hits. I think that's a particularly rewarding experience for a party-based game.
Go ahead and do the Empowered Hex. Oh, he's gonna prepare to lose the arrow on me. I don't think I will give him that opportunity. It's over. Lone Straggler. Oh, it's running away from me. All right, I won't mess with
Leave
it.
that dog alone.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I will not attack a dog that doesn't want to be attacked. I'm sorry. I swear I'm not. I'm a good guy. Child here. Probably shouldn't be here. Yes, we did get rid of the bad dogs. Nice, we saved the child.
Think of the kids. Two for the
Right,
children.
oh, I will probably. Yep.
Group
No
of
avoiding
enemies there.
that.
We can mention here, it's probably obvious now, there's no random encounters in Tower Song, and in fact there's no repeated encounters either. Every group of enemies you fight is at least a unique combination of enemies. And a lot of cases, you're only going to fight the same enemy type, a handful of times in the course of the games. These Naga casters might be in, I don't know, maybe 5 different battles in the whole game. There's always keeping things fresh so you don't get ever bored of fighting the same enemy type or frustrated with it. And the different enemy kind of setups challenge you in a different way.
Oh, that's fun. All blessed weapon.
Yeah, so that whole party is about to lay the hurt on Ishin's party.
Yeah, so we'll need some Alright, Akeno, you're gonna be the sacrificial one, but by switching to Earth, he does get blessed armor, so it should hopefully counteract some of that. Oh, the other way, actually, the nice thing about going into this sort of curse-focused build is that I have curses, meaning that their blessed weapons, blessings can be overridden by curses. So if I cursed weapon this one, the one that is planning to attack everyone in the party, that should overwrite the cursed, or the blessed weapon. Now it's got the cursed weapon. Might even be able to kill it. Of course not. I could throw Caution to the Wind and use Mana Storm again, but I think what I will do is go the slightly safer route and charm this one.
Yeah, those bows are...
They're pretty nasty, yeah. Ooh, and this Empowered Hex will remove blessings, so perfect for this one. No blessed weapon for you.
Big hit here.
Ooh, that hurts. Haha, I get charmed. Alright, so that one's already stunned. That one's charmed, so we'll see if... the Blade of Earth has a % chance to stun. Unfortunately, it did not stun this one. It's okay. I'll make sure that your blessed weapon is overridden. Oh, I thought that one was cursed.
See here, Kieran has run low on mana, but to get mana back, he didn't have to use, an ether or an item consumable of any kind. He just actually had to use a regenerating attack. So as your spellcasters use up their MP, they do have the ability to get that MP back, usually with different abilities. So should never be stuck with being unable to do anything, but you will, especially on harder difficulties, need to kind of plan around your recovery phase.
Yep,
so you're
like
not
just now, Solace having to reload.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a recovery phase when the boss is vulnerable or the enemies that are in a spot where you need to be shutting them down. But
if this catastrophe is enough, yeah, good, because I was running low on all the MP and stuff anyway. Now, there's clearly some mystery going on. There is, what are these goddesses? Who is this goddess? And we know who they are, but we won't tell you since that would be a bit of a spoiler. But right now, the characters are also just right now in the thick of this mystery where we're trying to figure out, well, what is going on? Where are these Naga coming from? What is this fire tower? Okay, screen shaking. Siege Beast is close. I think if I'm clever here, I can just get beyond these people. Go fight the Siege Beast.
Our friend there has a question for us in the chat. So what is the one JRPG convention that you, Ishin, were most excited to do a different approach with in Tower Song?
Oh, that's a great question. I really like the fact that after the combat, I don't have to go into the inventory and then heal myself up. And I know this is something that I think some modern games have done, but you saw in the last battle, at the end of the last battle, there were a lot of my people had low MP. Tally was like on the last spell she could cast. Kieran had just recovered, but then spent it again. But now in the menu, they're all back to full. I really like that because I don't have to then, like, one of the things I really don't like about a lot of games, whether it's RPGs or anything, is I hate when I have to do my taxes instead of playing the game. Taxes being sort out, figure out which potion I can use, which potion I might need in the future, what things I can recover with, how much to recover. Oh, what if I recover too much and then I get to the next save point or like a free recover point and then I haven't used everything, then I've wasted a potion. That's, I can respect that is a very intrinsic part of old school JRPGs and whatnot. But I don't like doing it, so I like...
In fact, if you hop in the inventory there, you'll see that you don't even have potions to spend.
These are all just
equipment. Isn't to say you don't have potions you can use in battle, but the potions, the battle consumables are all like your health and your MP. They're all... They refresh every battle, so if you need them, you can use them, and you know that they'll be there next time, so you can always use everything you have.
So,
great one.
Intuition tells me that is going to be the thing I need to fight because it is about as tall as a house, and that was what I was told. So here we go.
let's get into it.
All right.
I'm going to say there's another mechanic I want to show off here. So don't win this fight, I guess is what I would say.
Okay.
And if you want to make that easy, we could also show the difficulty modes, and you could go up to hard.
True. So
in any time in game, you can change the difficulty.
I might have to die actually. Yeah, I think I probably will have to. Well, we'll see. We'll go with a nice little. We'll slash at good old Deso here. Oh, of course. Even though sometimes you'll have. This is not bad. Even though this one had curse resistance, the soul damage part of Kieran's blade did not do as much damage because of variance. Blessed weapon and
Shinhira's gonna pretend he doesn't
fireball.
know how this battle works.
Yep. Just Operation Fireball. Oh, that's not good. Well. Go ahead and yeah, we'll just cutting wind you. No. All right, here comes the combustible mist. Sure. We'll just. Well, they're already cursed, so. Get rid of the boss's blessed weapon. Curse. Oh, Kieran. 56, not too bad. So you can see some of Tally's abilities. So this will allow her to pull 3 tarot cards at the start of Tally's next turn. She has good mana, so we'll just go ahead and use that. And in doing so, we let this Naga cast the fireball. Ooh, that hits decently hard. Oh.
Wasn't as hit as it was. And it exploded the mist.
Well, that explodes the mist. Akeno is dead. Many people are dead. So this would be a great time for me to use a soul shard and kind of revive at least one person and kind of get myself back together. But we'll go ahead and say I had a bit of a brain fart and I could not figure that part out, and we're gonna see what happens when the battle cannot be won, or is not won, I should say. Uh-oh. Dead. Oh, and more people show up. That's nice. Maybe I can at least. Oh, I couldn't even. I thought I could kill that one at least.
GG is definitely tanking.
Yeah,
here.
GG's MVP. Oof. Well, now unfortunately GG has no way to heal himself. Oh, and there's a bomb, and there's the flash fire, and there's the breath. Go GG, go! You can do it. I believe in you. Oh.
Not an explosion.
No.
But GG can't die.
GG just goes home.
We don't let you kill GG.
But your top party is still defeated. Oh no!
He left. The rest of your party's dead.
Yep.
So yeah, what we want to show off here is if you do get defeated, it is not game over. You can restart the encounter, just try again. You can reload a checkpoint, which will go back to your last autosave, or you can even just, you know what, maybe that loadout didn't work so well. You can change your loadout right here. Why don't we go to change loadout and show exactly what we're saying? So
Yeah.
you can go in here, change your mods.
Equipment. And I'm fighting, like last time, that fireball combo, not cool. So instead of taking the thing that will, so disarming shot replaces flashbang. So it lets me do curse weapon to things, but it also takes away Solace's guaranteed stun. So stunning that fireball seems like a good choice. So I'm gonna switch over to the Overwatch skill instead. And we'll try again.
I think actually maybe what we could do here is let players try this battle on their own. We could swap to the next part
Sure.
of our.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I just want to show how, and then here he is back in the battle. It's very easy to get back into the fight. And I will say, playing on hard mode, when I'm fighting a really difficult encounter and I just keep getting trounced, it just becomes very easy for me to try again, because I can just hit that button, restart. So maybe that's my answer to NKM's question there, is I think the ease of restarting a battle and the ease of getting into the fights, I think created for me as sort of a like one more turn that I probably didn't expect that I would have when we started making this game. But removing all the friction from combat, you know, it's very easy to get into another fight, retry that fight until you win. I think for me just makes it very compelling, makes it very easy to just keep playing Tower Song.
Yeah. So
But here we're skipping to, let's say he had defeated it, the boss is dead, so we're going to continue playing with the chapter.
Yeah, and you might have seen there was I think maybe my face was covering part of it, but right above my face here, there was a little notification that said there were empty mod slots, probably because I just defeated the Siege Beast and unlocked the new tier of mods. So we're playing with Neat now. Neat is the Street Fighter, and there's no longer a cat, unfortunately. But with this mod, you can see I've already started with an Overwatch. This is my all-in on Neat being the one that beats everyone up, like playstyle. So I'm gonna give Neat pop. So now he gets snap, crack, and pop, which you can see is it's a beautiful combo mechanic. The way Neat works is he has these stages. You can see he's not in combat, but he's at stage 0. But at different stages, as he uses some abilities, his stage will either advance or be spent. And so as he advances these stages, you can see on the right side there are certain abilities you can only use at certain stages, and then there are finishers that will consume those stages. And snap, crack, and pop go on a nice 2, 3, 4 cadence, and they all kind of build off of each other. It's great.
It's something that we've done. One of his finishers right now, you know, the higher the stage will give like an extra effect, and that's something that we will be in future updates for Neat. We will push out some additional abilities so that his finishers get better if you can hold on and pull them off at a later stage.
Something I also really like for Keno is taking focused attunement. So this will replace his natural attunement, where with Tally we saw when he casted the air spells, then he became air element. With focus attunement, you can now choose at any point on a short cooldown what state to be in at any point. So if I really need to be in Earth right this minute, I don't have to spend a turn to get into Earth first. So let's speed up some bandits.
And Cam says, yeah, it's nice to not be punished by being sent back to a save point or recent story beat. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. All right, let's...
Nothing bums me out more playing any game. And with autosaves, this is less of an issue in gaming in general, but every once in a while I'll run into a game where you get a game over and forgot to save for like an hour, and I have to repeat all this content.
So one thing I like doing, especially with Neat and Solace, is Overwatch. We'll mark a random enemy with mark for 2 turns, but then also this target ally gets to act immediately. So this is the mod for Solace that you'll get if you don't take the disarming shot. So you can, what I like to do is have Neat do a turn 1, and then my equipment is such that Solace is pretty still fast, but just slow enough to come after Neat. And so now he's back to stage 2, which means I can go immediately into Snap and confuse the spellcaster, which I'm pretty sure is about to do something pretty gnarly. And so this kind of lets me accelerate Neat's combos as well. So it's a fun way to use Solace, as like instead of Solace being a damager or like a debuffer type, she's supportive in another way by being kind of more traditional support in that way. I will do... Yeah, let's do Mana Strike on this one. And now with the Keno, you can see I can attune to whatever I want. So if I want to, let's say, cast a lot of spells, I will attune to water. So I can give myself the mana regen bonus from swapping into water. And now I can cast a lot of spells by because I'll get my MP back. So we'll just, yeah, why not? Fighting with this one. That'd be great if I could get the double air bonus there too, but can't have it all. Can't have it all. So Crack will do this, you know, same damage as I think a jab. You can see because of his passive with growing stages in his combo, his base damage just rises. But Snap gives someone confusion, and then Crack will then, if a target has Pacify, Confusion, or Charm, makes him stunned. So because I confused this one before, it is now stunned. And now Solace can... We'll just have Solace do a nice little damage here. First armor on Kieran is not great. That's okay. We can have Akeno give blessed armor instead. And now we're at the pop stage, stage 4. So if the target is stunned, now we can do critical damage. So this Naga Shade Runner should be absolutely blown up, which is why I love Neat. And if I overwatch him again, I can finish her on the same turn. That one got marked, so we'll use the knockout finisher, spend all my combo, and just blow it up. Now, unfortunately, I do have to build up to that again, so I can't do the big things all the time. Oh, there goes the evasion. So because he's evading, magic attacks, one of the things about this game also is that magic attacks are, unlike physical attacks, you can't really be dodged. And so in this case, if I examine evasion, it says physical damage evasion is increased by 50%. But things like Mana Storm, that is a magic attack. So you can see by the icon, the little red eye, that's the magic attack icon. And a lot of these mechanics, you don't need to know the ins and outs of it to get through the game, but if you would like to, you can open up the guide at any time in combat or on the map and learn all about the different characters, all of the combat mechanics that are in this game. And so I'll use Mana Storm so that you can't evade my attacks. We'll try to finish this one off. Alright. So we jab. Now in this case, if I overwatch Neat, then perhaps he will still live, because I think he's still dodging. Yeah. And he's got a crippling strike prepared. Let's see. We'll see if Neat can land the confuse. Sometimes the luck doesn't go your way. It's fine. We'll see if Charm Attack hits. Let's go. Alright, now we can... Blade of Water. Charm marked Cursed Armor. Oh yeah, just finish you off.
All too easy.
And there it is. Now we can go through, and it seems like we need to now. We're assaulting the Temple of the Fire Priestess. We probably won't get in there, but let's see. Kind of what we were talking about.
Kind of where we're at right now. This town has been invaded by these Naga snake creatures, and you're kind of working your way through the town, trying to liberate it. And we're gonna go up to the hard mode.
Yep. Seeing if I can pull off hard mode. Alright, fight me.
Game has 3 difficulties. You can go from hard mode, which is where we balanced the game, only so that we knew that hard mode was fun and playable and not just arbitrarily punishing. But you can also go all the way down to story mode if you are just want to play through the game, see all the content. The enemies do a lot less damage to you, and you could still, there are a couple fights where you might still lose if you can't solve like the mechanic, but for the most part you should have a breezy time getting through the game, or you can just play on normal mode and kind of get that middle path there.
I was gonna say,
yeah. I like to play hard mode. I really like to have to get into every little turn and ponder my actions every time. I've seen a lot of people who like the story mode because they like the story, the aesthetic. They just kind of want to play through it and not have to worry about it. And I know, Ishin, you're a fan of normal mode, I think.
Yeah, I like normal mode. You know, there's certainly games I like to be hardcore hard mode with. But especially games that kind of have like these fun interactions between people, different play styles. I like normal because, you know, the way that I use GG in the Tally GG run I was doing earlier, is that the most optimal route? Probably not. And by probably not, I mean definitely not. But it's still fun for me. I love setting up flavor wins like that and just doing fun little things. This Overwatch path may not be the best on hard mode. I am also now realizing, man, a lot of these hit a lot harder in hard mode than normal mode. So we'll see if I can attune to fire and heal up Neat here. And that should give him the regen effect. Perfect. Guess he can also heal himself with Proud Warrior or Adjustment, but I want to keep building up my combo. And unfortunately, this one that was confused and marked before is now invincible. So that's not good. And so the whole snap crackle.
Well, it might still stun him.
It might still stun him, but I'm losing out on damage, and I don't want to lose out on damage. So I'll just heal with Neat. This is a good use of my combo 3. And let's see. Oh yeah, I have the stun. So I don't like this. Flicked Bane. Not a fan of that. No Banes for you.
Yeah, just showing off that enemy intent feature a little more. So he was able to see that the spellcaster there was going to put a debuff on the party on their next spell, so he prioritized that target for his crowd control. And just showing off the consumables here, you got a soul shard that you can use freely, and that will come back at the end of the battle. So Kieran is not, he's only out of a soul shard for this fight.
Yeah, and the great news is this is not shared among characters, so I've used Kieran's revive. Hopefully I don't have to use any more. Blade of Fire, let's see. Do I need... Yeah, people are fine. We'll do some damage. Oh, they can resist. Oh, they have blessed resistance. Fun. Okay. Oh, they do that passively. That's fun. All right, so we'll punch these. Yes. And let's see. 48 to 53, I think. We'll have Neat. I've also put the equipment together so that Neat has gotten pretty much all of the best equipment that I can afford. Neat is... I put all my eggs in the Neat basket for this one, and it shows in the damage that he does. Oh man, that far left Naga is very prone to being buffed by their allies. Not.
And
right.
Someone put a bomb on Solace.
Oh yes. 3 turns to go. I think I can. Armor. You're already stunned. I don't like that you're preparing a loose arrow, so. Let's go. Oh, I can't change yet for one turn.
Are you already in fire stance?
I am in fire stance. I could use Soothe and get...
You'll cleanse the bomb.
The Soothe, the Fire Spirit, it'll only grant regen 2. Right. It won't...
Maybe it's hard water.
Cleanse. Yeah, yes, hard water. Yeah, I have to be in Water Spirit, and then I can cleanse negative states, which I would love to be, but I was too hasty earlier in... well, let's just do...
Which it could be, that's the mod he's chosen, but if he used a water spell, he would switch to water stance, but he wouldn't get that benefit until the next turn.
Yeah.
And the way a Keno works is essentially an elemental stance that he picks. So rather than maybe just kind of a pick stance like out of battle, or have to choose your stance, you know, as a build, you can change it dynamically just by using a spell. So basically, when you use an elemental spell with a Keno, it will do something, and if you're already, and then attune you to that element, and then if you're on, the next time you use an element, you'll get an extra effect. If you're basically in that, if you're attuned to that element because you've already casted that spell, you'll get that bonus effect. So
right, now I can
he comes later in the game. He can be a little. It might take a minute to wrap your head around, but once you get him out, he's very. What's the word? Flexible.
Yes.
He's the ultimate flex hero.
Here's something else I like doing with Neat and Overwatching is even if he doesn't have on that turn any combo on his turn, or in that round any combo on his turn, I can get him to combo 2, and then I can use one of his new finishers, Adjustment, which will heal all allies for 20% of their health points per combo spent.
So he took his turn, and you used Solace to give him another turn.
Yeah, and then used it defensively instead of offensively. Wow, Kieran's already... Man, they hurt, but I can hurt too. Oh, and now... Yeah. So I'll recover
So
my
Keno is
MP.
low on mana there, so as he uses his ability, he generates spirit points. You can cash that in to regenerate his mana. That's what we saw there.
So if I remember right, the secure last time gave someone invincible. I don't want that, so you are now stunned. Oh boy, that hits hard. Okay. I think I can recover and finish this one off. Nice.
Heal there, and now you're in fire spam. The next heal that he casts will also grant a regen effect.
Well, I'm not in natural attunement, so I'm still in water.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I've taken the...
Yeah, so what I described earlier is the way Akeno normally works, but because of the skill mod that Ishin equipped, he essentially is in a manual elemental mode. So Ishin has to, every 3 turns or between battles, he does have to decide which stance he's going to be in.
Stunned. Blessed weapon. You mean nothing to me now that I can just... Yeah. And...
Got Harry there a couple times. Looks like you got these guys left.
Yeah, not too bad. Go to air. And...
Also in hard mode, there's many battles where even when I'm down to 1 enemy, I'm still almost down myself, and it's turn by turn, staving off defeat up until the end.
Yep, like it's trying to cast a fireball that's blessed, but I'm not gonna let it. I hope. This will be really tragic if it doesn't. Okay.
Well done.
Whew, all right, so yeah, hard mode definitely hits harder, and that one I think, if I can do it, I would say it's on the sort of the more doable side of hard mode. There are some hard mode encounters in this game that I have tackled and tackled and tackled, and it's like, man, this is it. It just takes me so long to actually get there and even defeat the thing. All right. Over on this side, looks like just a nice little garden. A moment of peace, perhaps, before... Oh, this is it, the Temple of the Fire Priestess. See one of the murals on the... around the maps. There's a mural. Go into the temple, you'll see... Well, that looks fairly foreboding. I don't know if we want to tackle that one. I think there's one more fight in the outskirts if you want to show off more combat.
I think, yeah, so we got a boss fight about to happen here, and this might be a good place to call the stream, but yeah, you can play Tower Song yourself. As of this recording, if you're watching, it is on sale through New Year's Day, 50% off, so grab it now. This campaign is fully playable. You can get to end credits, even though we're still in early access. We'll be in early access until we get the other 2 main playable characters playable. But for now, you can play as Neat or Tally, which we showed here today. And yeah, you'll just kind of unravel for yourself who is this sneaky hooded fellow, what's going on with the fire tower, what are these Naga up to. You can find out for yourself. Ishin, has been a lot of fun playing with you today, watching you get through these encounters.
Yeah, it's been a blast playing as always. You know, I've pulled a little audible with the the Tally GG run, seeing how the GG all in on the GG basket went, and you know, on normal mode I can still get through it. I did quote unquote die to the Deso siege beast, but that was partly because I was not playing it to the best. But yeah, it's available now, super fun. I can you know, there's gonna be more mods for you to unlock by the end game, so you can always play around with the skills more, and that's, to me, that's also a super fun part of the game, is just being able to approach it from whichever way I want. And there are so many fun things you can do with the equipment and all the builds that you can have for the game. I didn't even have any accessories on Akeno here, so cool.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next live stream.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Bye.